Chosen one, the long battle you have been fighting is finally over. You won. Your assignment to carry the entire world on your shoulders has ended, and your only job now is to rest, recover, and let your weary spirit be held. Take a deep, slow breath right now, and let your shoulders drop. You do not need to brace yourself anymore. You do not need to stay on high alert, constantly waiting for the next storm to hit or the next shoe to drop. The heavy armor you wore for so long has served its purpose, and you are finally allowed to lay it down without fear. You finding these words at this exact second is not a random coincidence. It is a divine appointment, perfectly orchestrated for a soul that has given everything until there was almost nothing left to give. You have walked through valleys that broke your heart in silence, and you have carried invisible weights that no one around you could ever truly comprehend. Yet, despite the deep exhaustion, despite the silent nights and unanswered prayers, you kept moving forward. You stayed faithful. And now, the divine presence is stepping into your story to remind you that you are seen, you are honored, and you are entirely safe. There is a sacred transformation beginning to unfold within your heart right now. As you stay present with these words, you will begin to feel a gentle, soothing warmth washing away the tension stored deep within your body. The heavy pressure that once felt suffocating is dissolving, replaced by a quiet, supernatural peace. You do not need to work for this peace, and you do not need to struggle to prove your worth anymore. All that is required of you in this holy moment is to simply be still, open your hands, and receive the rest that has already been prepared for you. Let every racing thought settle. Let every worry fade into the background. You have fought well, you have endured enough, and this quiet space is your sanctuary. Your season of constant survival has reached its end. Your season of deep, miraculous restoration begins right now. Let us take a journey back for just a moment, not to dwell in the pain, but to acknowledge the sheer magnitude of what you have survived. There was a time, not so long ago, when every single step you took felt like wading through deep, heavy water against a relentless and crushing current. You remember those endless, agonizingly quiet nights when the world around you was fast asleep, but your mind was caught in a violent storm of anxiety. You lay there, staring into the dark, replaying every mistake, every fear, and every uncertain tomorrow, feeling the crushing weight of the world pressing down on your chest. You shed tears that no one else was ever allowed to see, quickly wiping them away before stepping out of the shadows, simply because you did not want to burden anyone else with the heaviness of your own heart. There were desperate moments when your deepest, most fragile prayers felt like they were floating into a cold, empty void, returning to you unanswered, leaving you to quietly wonder if you had been completely forgotten by the universe. You felt the suffocating isolation of carrying a load so complex and so agonizing that trying to explain it to someone else felt infinitely more exhausting than just bearing it alone. You swallowed your pain. You silenced your cries. You packed your broken pieces into a neat, hidden box and locked it away tightly so that you could function, so that you could survive just one more day. It was a profoundly lonely chapter, one where the silence of your suffering was louder than any word you could have ever spoken out loud. Yet, even when your own spirit was bruised, battered, and bleeding, you never stopped showing up for others. Look at how fiercely you loved, even when you felt entirely unloved and unseen yourself. You constantly poured from an empty cup, draining your own fragile reserves to ensure no one else around you had to go thirsty. You became the safe harbor for people who never even realized you were drowning in your own storm. You offered gentle words of comfort and fierce encouragement to those around you, giving away the very reassurance that you so desperately needed someone to whisper to you. You were the strong one, the dependable one, the one who always had it together, the one who fixed the problems, the one who picked up the pieces when others walked away. People looked at you and saw unwavering strength, but they did not see the unbearable, crushing cost of that strength. They did not see the sheer willpower it took simply to exist on some days. They did not see the deep exhaustion settled in your bones or the invisible trembling in your hands behind closed doors. You pushed yourself miles past the limits of human endurance, forcing a brave smile when your soul only wanted to collapse. You convinced yourself that if you just worked a little harder, held on a little tighter, and gave a little more, eventually the pressure would ease. You sacrificed your own well-being on the altar of responsibility, mistakenly believing that your worth was tied directly to how much suffering you could bear without breaking. But I want you to hear this sacred truth, and I want it to resonate in the deepest, most quiet corners of your soul. You were never invisible, not for a single, fleeting second. The divine presence, the quiet and loving watcher of your life, saw every single tear that stained your pillow. The heavens witnessed every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, every time you chose kindness over anger, and every time you dragged yourself out of bed when you felt completely shattered. None of it was ignored. None of it was a waste. The brutal battles you fought in the shadows, the ones you won without an audience, without applause, and without a single word of recognition, were permanently recorded in the heavens. Your quiet endurance was building a profound, unshakable spiritual fortitude within you, shaping you into a beautiful vessel capable of holding the immense blessings that are currently flowing your way. Your pain was never meant to be a punishment. It was a sacred crucible that refined your spirit. The universe has been keeping a meticulous account of your sacrifices, and your spiritual bank is now overflowing. The divine hand was holding you together in all those moments when you thought you were holding yourself together alone. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely, deeply, and unconditionally loved. If this truth is gently vibrating within your heart right now, if you feel in your spirit that your silent struggles have been witnessed by the divine, type 1111 to affirm that your voice has finally been heard. As the dust settles from your long battles, you may begin to notice a strange and unfamiliar sensation creeping into your mind. When the noise finally stops and the demands on your energy cease, the sudden stillness might not feel like relief right away. In fact, it might feel startling. It might feel like a void, or an unsettling emptiness. You might find yourself sitting in the quiet, and suddenly your mind starts racing, desperately scanning the horizon for the next crisis, the next emergency, the next thing you need to fix. Please know that there is absolutely nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. This is simply the echo of a nervous system that has been locked in survival mode for far too long. Your body, your mind, and your spirit became so accustomed to fighting, to pushing, to bracing for impact, that being safe actually feels foreign. You learn to live in the trenches, constantly anticipating the next wave of hardship, because that is what kept you alive. Your guard has been up for so many years that the muscles of your soul have forgotten how to relax. You might even feel a subtle guilt when you are not actively solving a problem or helping someone else, as if sitting still is a mistake. But I am here to gently remind you that the war is over. The threats you are anticipating are ghosts of the past. The adrenaline that once fueled your survival is no longer needed in this new season. It is entirely safe for you to stand down. It is safe to take off the heavy armor. You are stepping out of the battlefield and into a sanctuary, and it is perfectly okay if it takes your heart a little while to adjust to the glorious reality of peace. In this sacred space of transition, the divine is stepping in to rewrite the oldest, deepest lies you were forced to believe. You have been conditioned by a heavy world to believe that your worth is permanently tied to your productivity, your resilience, and your ability to endure suffering. You were taught that rest is something you must earn through sheer exhaustion, that you are only allowed to stop when you physically cannot take another step. But listen closely to the voice of the universe, speaking directly to your spirit right now. Your value was never, ever measured by how much pain you could carry. You do not have to justify your existence by constantly being useful to others. You do not have to bleed to prove you are worthy of love, and you absolutely do not have to earn the right to rest. Rest is not a reward for burning yourself out. It is your divine birthright. It is a holy, sacred act of surrender. Resting is not a sign of weakness, and it is certainly not giving up. It is the profound courage to trust that the universe will hold your world together while you close your eyes. The divine is not asking you to be a warrior right now. The divine is not asking you to climb another mountain or carry another heavy cross. The creator of all things is simply asking you to sit down, to breathe, to exist without an agenda. Your soul is being invited into a season where healing becomes your greatest strength, where softness replaces the need for armor, and where simply being alive is more than enough. You are allowed to release the grip you have on your life. You are allowed to let things flow. As you begin to surrender to this stillness, even if it feels just a little bit unfamiliar, a miraculous energetic shift is taking place within you. Right now, in this very moment, as you simply breathe in and breathe out, you are doing the most important work of your life. While you rest, you are not stagnant, you are deeply receiving. Imagine a warm, golden, divine light washing over you, starting from the crown of your head and flowing like a gentle river down to the soles of your feet. This light is intelligent, deeply loving, and infinitely patient. It is reaching into the hidden, bruised corners of your heart, finding the places that were torn apart by betrayal, by loss, by sheer exhaustion. The universe is gently, meticulously, taking the frayed and broken threads of your spirit and weaving them back together with threads of pure grace. This is a cellular restoration. The heavy, dark energy of your past traumas, the stagnant grief, and the bitter disappointments are being lifted from your shoulders and dissolved into the light. You do not have to force this healing to happen. You do not have to analyze it, figure it out, or manage the process. The divine is doing the heavy lifting for you. All that is required of you is to leave the door of your heart open and allow yourself to be loved. Your spirit is being recharged at the deepest possible level, filling the empty reservoirs within you with a peace that surpasses all human understanding. Every time you choose to rest, you are allowing the universe to pour miracles directly into your soul. You are being renewed, remade, and beautifully restored, simply by allowing yourself to be held in the quiet hands of grace. As this deep healing takes root within you, a profound and undeniable shift is occurring in the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life. For so long, you have been the one pouring out your energy, your time, your finances, and your endless care to keep everything and everyone afloat. You have operated in a state of constant, exhausting output, giving away the very last drops of your strength just to survive. But the universal law of divine balance is now tilting magnificently in your favor. The season of endless giving and struggling has gently closed its doors, and a miraculous, overflowing season of receiving is opening wide before you. The universe is not just interested in resting your weary bones. The divine is actively preparing to flood your everyday life with the physical and spiritual abundance you have always deserved but rarely experienced. You are stepping into a sacred timeline where prosperity, peace, and sudden opportunities flow toward you effortlessly. You do not have to chase blessings anymore. Your purified energy has made you a powerful magnet for them. The love and effort you cast out into the dark during your hardest, most painful days are now returning to you multiplied, wrapped in golden light and tangible, life-changing rewards. It is time for you to be taken care of. It is time for you to finally reap the rich harvest of your unwavering faithfulness. And part of this divine orchestration is the very reason you have been gently guided to hear these specific words at this exact moment. The universe often works through sudden, unexpected alignments to deliver the precise tools you need for your ult. Right now, there is a powerful awakening happening across the globe, a revelation of a hidden 7-second brainwave approach that was previously kept entirely out of reach. For years, this profound knowledge was limited only to elite circles and wealthy groups, locked deep inside classified files, intentionally kept away from the faithful souls who truly needed it the most. But the time for your struggle is officially over, and this 30-second miracle is now being revealed to you. Specialists and researchers have discovered that this simple, quiet frequency directly stimulates a completely dormant center in your brain, a center that is strictly associated with drawing in massive prosperity, continuous blessings, and lasting financial independence. It bypasses the old paradigm of endless hard work and painful struggle, simply turning on the natural wealth and abundance that has been sleeping inside your own mind. The divine led you here because you are finally ready to activate this hidden power and completely replace your financial pressure with unshakable balance and freedom. This sacred window of opportunity is open for you right now, but the forces that hid it before are constantly trying to conceal it once more. Click the link in the description and the comments below to activate this money-attracting brainwave today before it is removed from the internet again. Allow the miracles to flow. As you remain in this profound state of divine rest, a breathtaking transformation is taking place within the very architecture of your mind. The inner world, that once felt like a crowded, noisy battlefield, is slowly transforming into a vast, serene sanctuary. You might have noticed it already, or perhaps it is just beginning to dawn on you right in this very second. The heavy, dark clouds of anxiety that used to follow you everywhere are quietly breaking apart. Those old, familiar thoughts that used to scream at you, constantly reminding you of your past failures or paralyzing you with fears of tomorrow, are losing their iron grip. They are no longer loud, demanding voices dictating your every move. Instead, they are fading into faint, distant echoes. When a negative thought tries to rise up, it no longer has the power to pull you under. It simply passes by, like a harmless wisp of mist dissipating in the warm morning sun. The mental loops of overthinking, the midnight panics, the constant need to double-check and triple-check every decision just to avoid disaster, all of that is gently melting away. The universe is sweeping the heavy debris of past traumas entirely out of your mind. You are no longer held hostage by the memories of who hurt you or what went wrong in the past. The emotional weight attached to your history has been permanently severed. You can look back at your past and simply see a story, not a life sentence. The heavy chains of regret and fear have been unlocked, and your mind is finally being given the sacred space to breathe, to expand, and to exist in the pure, untainted light of the present moment. This mental liberation is not just a passing thought. It is physically rewriting the way you experience every single second of your daily life. Pay attention to your physical body as this divine reset takes hold of you. You will begin to notice that your breathing is naturally becoming slower, softer, and so much deeper. You are no longer taking those shallow, anxious breaths from the very top of your chest. The air is flowing deep into your lungs, grounding you, constantly reminding your nervous system that the emergency is entirely over. Your heart rate, which used to flutter at the slightest sign of conflict or uncertainty, is settling into a calm, steady, and beautiful rhythm. The rigid tension that you unknowingly carried in your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders is dissolving completely, leaving you feeling light, fluid, and wonderfully at ease. And as your body unlearns its long history of panic, Your daily reactions to the world around you are shifting in miraculous ways. Things that used to irritate you, things that would instantly trigger a spike of anger or a downward spiral of despair, simply bounce off your newly restored energetic shield. When chaos erupts around you, you no longer feel a desperate need to absorb it. When people act out of their own unhealed wounds, you no longer take it personally. You are developing a beautiful, impenetrable calm. The sudden inconveniences of daily life do not ruin your day anymore. You are no longer easily provoked, because the well of peace inside you is so incredibly deep and so profound that surface-level ripples cannot disturb it. You are becoming a master of your own energy, floating gracefully above the drama and the noise, anchored completely by the divine presence that holds you steady. You are walking through the world with a relaxed posture, signaling to the universe that you are safe, you are protected, and you are entirely at home within your own skin. As this divine calmness becomes your permanent new normal, it makes room for something even more beautiful to bloom within your spirit. A feeling that you may not have experienced since you were a very small child. It is the emergence of a quiet, unshakable joy. This is not the loud, fleeting excitement that comes from a sudden success or a temporary distraction. It is not a fragile happiness that you have to chase, force, or manufacture. This joy is completely independent of your external circumstances. It does not require a specific bank account balance, a perfect relationship, or a flawless day to exist. It is a steady, comforting glow that emanates from the deepest core of your being. You will find it bubbling up in the most ordinary moments, in the warmth of a morning cup of coffee, in the way the sunlight catches the leaves outside your window, or simply in the profound realization that you are breathing and you are completely okay. You will catch yourself smiling for absolutely no reason at all. Your heart will feel a sudden, soft expansion, a deep contentment that whispers to you, everything is going to be incredibly wonderful. This is the highest frequency of human healing. It is the undeniable proof that the universe has fully restored your spirit. You are remembering how to feel the pure magic of life, how to connect with the world without fear, and how to allow the light to enter your soul freely without an ounce of resistance. This quiet joy is your new baseline, a permanent gift from the divine that will never, ever be taken away from you. If you are ready to claim this quiet joy, if you can feel the heavy armor falling away and the light taking its place, type 2222 to receive this absolute, divine peace into your life right now. As you settle deeper and deeper into this profound state of peace, you will begin to notice a beautiful, entirely new rhythm taking shape in your daily life. It is a rhythm that completely abandons the frantic, exhausting urgency of the past. For so long, you operated under the heavy illusion that if you did not push, if you did not force every single outcome, and if you did not control every moving piece, everything around you would simply fall apart. You lived on a timeline dictated by panic and pressure. But now, you are stepping out of that chaotic current and into a divine, effortless flow. You no longer need to micromanage the universe. You are learning the magnificent, freeing art of allowing. Notice how you no longer feel the desperate, anxious need to rush from one task to the next. The constant, ticking clock in your mind, the one that always told you that you were running out of time, that you were falling behind, has been permanently silenced. You are moving through your days with a deliberate, graceful slowness, trusting implicitly that what is genuinely meant for you will never, ever pass you by. When a door closes, you do not beat your fists against the wood in frustration. You simply take a deep breath, smile, and trust that a much better door is already opening just around the corner. You do not have to chase your destiny anymore. You are simply walking into it at the exact right pace. The universe is orchestrating your future with perfect, loving precision, and your only job is to stay in this beautiful vibration of absolute ease. You are trading the heavy, unbearable burden of control for the weightless freedom of divine trust. Every step you take is guided, every move you make is infinitely supported, and everything you could possibly need is arriving right on time, exactly when your soul is ready to receive it. Within this gentle, flowing rhythm, a quiet but incredibly powerful rebuilding of your inner confidence is taking place. This is not the loud, boastful confidence that the world often demands, the kind that constantly seeks attention or validation. No, this is a deep, unshakable, subterranean knowing of exactly who you are, what you have survived, and what you are truly worth. For so long, you defined your entire strength by your ability to endure pain, by your capacity to survive the darkest, most terrifying storms. You thought you had to play the role of the unbroken warrior forever. But the warrior has finally laid down the heavy sword, and what remains standing is someone entirely new, someone who is infinitely more powerful, precisely because they are absolutely at peace. You are not going backwards. You are not returning to the fragile version of you that existed before the struggle, because that version was built out of necessity and survival. You have been completely transformed. You are stepping into a radiant future where your strength is rooted in clarity, in quiet wisdom, and in deep, unconditional self-compassion. You are beginning to trust your own intuition again, hearing the whispers of the divine speaking clearly through your own inner voice. You no longer need constant validation or reassurance from the outside world, because the universe. Let yourself remain in this beautiful, calm sanctuary for as long as your spirit requires. There is absolutely no rush to move on, no lingering pressure to step back into the heavy noise of the world until you are completely and entirely ready. You have endured so much, you have fought so bravely, and this sacred, quiet pause is exclusively yours to keep. Please remember, as you slowly begin to step forward into your breathtaking new reality, that you are never, ever walking alone. The divine presence that has held you so closely through your darkest, most terrifying nights is now walking gracefully beside you in the brilliant light of day. The universe is fiercely protecting your energy, gently guiding your every step, and continuously wrapping your weary soul in a divine love that never fades and a peace that simply cannot be shaken. You are completely safe now. Your internal healing is permanent, your spirit is whole, and your future is undeniably, beautifully bright. And as you step into this radiant future, it is vital to understand that the magnificent prosperity and abundance meant for your life are not simply a matter of blind luck or random chance. You were not placed on this earth merely to survive, to scrape by, or to constantly worry about tomorrow. You were intelligently designed by the Creator to thrive, to experience a life overflowing with physical, emotional, and absolute financial freedom. What if true financial independence and unbothered peace were never about exhausting yourself with endless labor, but simply about activating a hidden signal within your own mind, a signal that stayed intentionally buried in classified records for decades? This powerful, natural frequency is now opening impossible doors, effortlessly attracting fresh, life-changing opportunities, and rapidly transforming the lives of those who were once just as tired and overwhelmed as you. Thousands of faithful souls are already using this exact, hidden method to bring immense, unshakable prosperity into their daily reality in ways they never even dared to imagine possible. You did not stumble upon this specific message by accident today. The divine intentionally guided you to these very words, because your season of struggle is over and it is finally your turn to receive the ultimate reward. You have carried the heavy weight of the world for far too long, and now the universe is directly handing you the golden key to your total liberation. Do not let this sacred, life-altering opportunity slip through your fingers while the door is open. Click the link in the description and the comments right now to turn on this hidden, money-attracting brainwave today. Allow the wealth, the deep peace, and the effortless abundance that is divinely yours to finally flow into your daily life without a single ounce of resistance. Embrace the beautiful miracle that is waiting for you just one click away. Type 888 right now in the comments to boldly declare that this boundless prosperity, healing, and peace completely belong to you. If this divine message has touched your soul today, please like this video and share it, so that another weary, chosen spirit can find their way home to this exact same healing light.